Alright, hi everybody, T-Shep here. What we're going to be showing you today is how to replace a movement in a clock. As long as a clock has got something on the back that looks very similar to that, you can replace it and keep the clock. You don't have to go get a brand new clock if you like the face and everything. So, we've already taken out the battery. We're going to start with what's on top. You'll either have a crowned nut where you just unscrew it, or you'll have a second hand. The second hand, you're taking two fingers and you're kind of pinching underneath. That came off easy. And pulling. They're not always going to come off that easy. Underneath the second hand, because we did not have a nut on there, now we have a little nut. And we just unscrew this. And don't lose the nut. I always try to keep everything together. Now the minute hand, really, it just should come right off. That is what was keeping that on. This is being held on with friction. So your hour hand, again, much like the second hand, we're just putting pressure underneath and pulling up, and it comes right off. Now you'll have this nut. That's your main nut for this. It's a 10 millimeter. Or you can use some pliers, you can use needle noses, wrenches. Really, you're just trying not to damage the face of it. I usually try to keep a copper washer there so that you don't get the damage. So let's take that nut off. Now it's not supposed to be, again, it's not supposed to be so solid that it's not even going to move. You saw how simple that was to take it off. We're just trying to keep it snug and tight. Again, don't lose that. And there's your movement. That'll sometimes stay right there. Sometimes it decides to move. Alright, so replacing it. Alright, I'm going to put that one off to the side. And it comes with these washers. They're flexible washers. And that goes on this side of it. And there's your new movement. I like to keep my noon up top, and I like to keep the battery at 6 at the bottom. Alright, now we take our nut. Again, we're not trying to get this super tight. I get it finger tight. And then I take whatever I use to take it off. And really, I'm trying to make it tight enough so this doesn't wobble. We're trying to just secure that. So it really shouldn't be too much turns here. Alright, so I kind of did quarter turns, just like one. And I can still move it a little bit. So really, I'm just going to do a little bit more. That should be enough. And yes, it is. Alright, so then we take our hour. When putting these back on, I find it easier just to point it at 9. And again, you're pushing it on, and then instead of like we did before, we're pushing here on the edges and pushing down. It's all friction, just holding on to it right there. The hour hand either is going to go on this way or this way. I've been doing this a long time so I can see which way it's turned, but there's only 2 ways it'll go on. Alright, so we've got our minute hand on, and now it's time for the nut. This really, it just goes on like this, and sometimes it takes a little back and forth with it until it catches. And sometimes you have it on upside down. And see, if you have the right side down, it goes on just like that. See, I even make mistakes doing these things. So now that's secured. Again, I'm not tightening it to the world. I'm just doing it finger tight. I'm just trying to secure that hand. And then we're just putting back the second hand on. Again, if you didn't have a second hand, that would have been that crown nut, and you would have been done. Now we're done. putting in a battery, and it's working. So that is how you change out a movement so you can keep the face of the clock. You don't always have to get rid of the clock just because the movement stopped or just because the time stopped. Hey, thanks for watching.